Okay, so this is chapter 9 homework, problem number 1. And it says compute the critical z sub alpha over 2 value, the critical number that corresponds to an 87% level of confidence. So to do this, you're going to go to your inverse norm, and your percentage in this case is your 0.87. Your mean and standard deviation are going to be the 0 and 1, as if it was a standard normal curve. So we go to our calculator, second inverse norm, second in the vars button, that minutes number 3. We're going to enter the 0.87. Our mu is 1, our mean is 1, our standard deviation, our mean is 0, our standard deviation is 1, and you're going for the center. And then go down here and hit paste, enter, and it tells you, now this tells you both your left and your right tail where it was going to be. We're just going to go with the positive one. So 1.514, so this was 0.8701, and center, and our answer came out to be 1.514. So to 2 decimal places, 1.51. We didn't do it using the table, but you can do it using a table. All right, so the second one, construct a 95% confidence interval of the population proportion using the given information, that X is 240 and N is 30. Okay, so a couple of things I've written on here for us. First of all, these are our formulas for the lower and upper bound of that confidence interval. Remember, what we're doing is we got p hat in the middle here, and then you're subtracting the margin of error and adding the margin of error. And what they're asking for is these two endpoints. And so that's what we're doing when we do these two formulas, because this is p hat and this is the margin of error here, where z sub alpha over 2 is your critical value, right? And then you have this guy, all this p hat times 1 minus p hat over n, all that is your standard deviation. Okay, so back to how the snot do we find that critical value. We just did this in the calculator in problem number 1 using inverse norm, but remember, I've also posted on Haiku these most popular 90, 95, and 99, the critical values, so that you don't have to recalculate them every time. So since we're interested in 95% confidence interval, our critical value is 1.96. So that is where this z sub alpha over 2 comes from, is going to be the 1.96. So let me erase all this so that we have room. So our p hat number, so keep in mind here, they didn't give us the p hat number. What we have is we have 240 something out of 300 somethings total. So maybe this is the 240 students at Episcopal out of 300 in the upper school that plan to go to the state championship football game or something like that. So to find p hat, the proportion, you have to take 240 and divide that by 300, and that's going to come out to 0.8. So now we're ready. We have all the numbers we need. So p hat is 0.8 minus z sub alpha over 2 is our 1.96 times the square root of 0.8 times 1 minus 0.8 all over our n, which was 300. And then we're going to do that same formula, same stinking thing down here. The only difference is we're adding instead of subtracting, but otherwise everything in the formula is the exact same. So let's put this in the calculator. Okay, so we put this in the calculator, and our lower bound comes out to be 0.7547. So this is 0.7547. And the upper bound comes out to be 0.8453. Make sure I rounded that first one. Yeah. And so how many decimal places? 3. So this will be 0.755, and this will be 0.845.